Glock triggers get better all by themselves? That's the topic today. If you've ever bought a brand new Glock, you probably heard somebody say, well, you know, don't worry, the trigger will get better over time. And strangely enough, they're usually right. And that's something that I think deserves more discussion. And I think we take for granted that saying oftentimes. A Glock trigger out of the box often can feel a little bit gritty when it's new. It often feels smoother though after we get more rounds through it. So after a few thousand rounds, it's like a completely different trigger. So why people want to change their trigger right out of the box, I don't know. I think it raises an interesting question also. Why does the Glock trigger change so much over time? We think we know, but let's talk about the details, because there is something that I like to call the $0 Glock trigger job, because really you don't need to put in a new trigger. You're far better off to put in the time running ammo through the Glock, getting used to it, and working out the trigger that way. So I want to take a deeper look at how the Glock trigger works here, why it naturally smooths out over time, and why, you know, understanding this trigger is probably more valuable than replacing it. I don't think replacing it is something that you have to do. Now, whenever somebody buys their first Glock, that's one of the things that a lot of times people recommend to them. Replace the connector, replace the trigger shoe, replace the springs, polish everything. There's something that people call the $1 Glock trigger job, where they go in and polish a lot of things. Some people put an entirely new trigger in there, and there's a whole market for that. And to be fair, some of these upgrades can absolutely improve the trigger, but they also create a lighter trigger and something that is a more performance trigger, and that's something that for duty carry and everyday carry, I don't necessarily think that we need. So the Glock trigger, I think, is important just to keep in mind that it was never designed to impress you at the gun counter. It's not something that you're supposed to be amazed at. That was by design. It was designed to reliably fire under any conditions, you know, gritty conditions, conditions that are unfavorable. The priorities were on reliability, simplicity, durability, and consistency. That was it. A perfect trigger was not the goal. Glock did not try to design the perfect trigger. A dependable trigger is what they set out to design. And that's a very different design philosophy, something that we just have to keep in mind. Glock knew what they were doing. So to understand why the Glock trigger smooths out, I think we have to think about what's happening inside the gun. When you pull that Glock trigger, you're not just moving one part. There's several different components that are interacting during every trigger press. The trigger bar moves rearward, and the trigger bar rides against the connector. And then the firing pin safety plunger is pushed upward. And then the trigger bar engages the firing pin lug, and the connector cams the trigger bar downward to release the striker. So there's a lot of things happening there. And in every one of those interactions is a metal on metal contact rubbing against each other. They were designed with particular tolerances and with the expectation that those tolerances would change over time. So every one of those metal-metal interactions are determined by the surfaces and the geometry that was coming from the factory. And so at the factory, they were mated together, but you know, those surfaces don't come out perfectly aligned from the factory. They never do. That's not to be expected. No mechanical system would be perfect in that way. So the thing that people don't think about is that when these high quality parts come out, they may visually look identical, but they may contain microscopic imperfections, you know, tiny machining marks, little tiny high spots or surface variations. And these are not defects. They're just normal engineering, normal variances. So if you look at these under magnification, they would resemble mountain ranges. It's like looking at Earth from a distance. It looks like as smooth as a cue ball. And as you get closer and closer, you start to see mountains and you start to see some topography. It's the same with these parts. Now, as the trigger cycles, these high spots gradually wear down, and then the contact surfaces are going to get more uniform and the friction will decrease, and it's just natural. And so the movement becomes smoother, And you know, an engineer would call this the wear-in period or the run-in period, but the firearm community might call it a break-in period. It's a different name, but it's really the same concept, and it's really important to understand. Now, one of the biggest contributions to this is the connector, and that's it contributes to the trigger feel in the most way. And many shooters just don't seem to realize how important that little piece is on the connector. Because when you pull the trigger, that trigger bar rides along this angular surface of the connector, and that metal-on-metal interaction creates much of what shooters recognize as that classic Glock trigger feel. And it's one of the reasons why the connector changes, you know, when it changes over time, it can have such a noticeable effect. And it can make the movement smoother, and the trigger pull will often feel a little bit better. There's nothing really magical happening there. The parts are just becoming acquainted with each other in a more you know, more smooth manner over time due to more reps. And that's the beauty of the system. So I don't think the Glock engineers sat around saying, let's make this trigger rough intentionally so it gets better later. No, I don't think that's the case. I just believe that they understand exactly how the surfaces interact over time, and they understand the wear patterns and the contact surfaces, and they understand friction. This is not foreign to them. I'm just pointing out the obvious about Glock. I mean, it's expected that this would be a consequence of the design. The trigger is not becoming something that they never imagined or intended. That's not the case. This is exactly what they intended, and that's an important distinction I think you want to keep in mind. So, you know, some people might say, well, why doesn't Glock just polish everything at the factory? And that really comes down to the factory philosophy. Could they do it? Absolutely. Would it make it feel nicer? It probably would. Would it increase the production time and cost going up, longer delays? Probably, definitely. It's not just probably. You know, would it significantly improve your defensive use using that firearm? I think that is very debatable. I certainly don't run a competition trigger. I don't upgrade my trigger. I think over time, the wear on the trigger makes it feel and shoot better. Does it make it better for defensive purposes? I don't know. A tighter trigger may be better. But there's definitely debatable there because a tighter trigger accuracy may suffer. Their philosophy is always reliable first and simple second, and you know, just basically keeping that in mind. It's hard to argue with their approach. It has worked. It has worked well. So my recommendation is if you got a new Glock, dry fire, get in rounds. The Glock does not know whether that's an actual shot or a dry fire. The trigger components don't know whether there's a cartridge being fired. You know, it moves the trigger bar, it engages the connector, it interacts with the firing pin lug. All of those things are happening with dry fire. And it's just the best way if you're not getting to the range or you don't have the money for ammo. So it just takes more trigger presses. I've noticed this already with my Glock 17 versus my 26. When I got the 26 brand new and I had already been shooting the 17 for years, I noticed a difference immediately. And I didn't really notice it when I first started with the 17, but after I had a comparator, yeah, I really noticed it. So shoot your gun, fire, dry fire it, learn how to use it, understand the wear on the parts and why it works the way it works. Because when you're doing that, you're also learning where your wall is and the brake and the reset, and you're sort of learning all of those things that are going to make you a better shooter along the way. And the benefit and the value of that is that over time, your trigger will actually get better and you'll get better. And so you know, my final thoughts on this would be that it's never intended to be a perfect performance trigger. It's a duty trigger. And you're not really fixing it. It's not a secret modification that you're doing. The famous $0 Glock trigger job is what it is. You're just using the Glock and putting in the rounds. It's a win-win. And so just think about it before you go out and spend more money and modify your equipment, especially if it's brand new. It's just simply the best approach, in my opinion, is more trigger time. And the reality is true, getting more range time is hard. I'm also having, I struggle to get in as many reps as I would like. I'm jealous of the guys that can always get to the range on a very regular, precise interval, but we all got to try. So that's my take on the Glock trigger and some thoughts, food for thought. Love to hear from you in the comments below. We'll see you next time.